Big breaking news this afternoon as Sadio Mané is reportedly close to agreeing personal terms with Bayern Munich for a deal worth 32 million euros. Frenkie de Jong to Manchester United is set to advance, but there is still negotiating to be done between the two clubs because the asking price is currently needs compromising. And Harry Kane in Liverpool talks, according to the very credible Rob Gutman on the Anfield Wrap podcast. We're going to delve into all these stories and much, much more. Antonio Conte, by the way, is confirmed as staying at Tottenham. We kind of already knew that, but it is now confirmed. Ivan Perisic's linked with a move to North London as well. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. We're going to go through all the big rumors circulating today. Let's do this. Let's go. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Good afternoon. It's another episode of the Done Deal Show. And such interesting rumours over the course of today. We've really been focusing on TFT, the build-up for the big Champions League final tomorrow. Our preview, the 12th man, is out, so go and check it out after this stream. We were reviewing some of the overlap stuff and looking at a lot of the fandom, really. But so many transfer stories in the past 12 to 24 hours have come out, and I want to share them with you. You may or may not have seen them already. I want to get your opinion on them. And of course, I'm going to give you mine as well. And there was one that we were waiting for. It's been said in the last few days that Sadio Mané will make an announcement after the UEFA Champions League final about his future. That has been coupled with the story that Mané is close to agreeing. I've read some other reports saying that he's already agreed the personal terms. A deal with Bayern Munich worth around £32 million, according to L'Equipe. Is this true? Could this be true? Is he on his way out of Liverpool Football Club after, 6 or so brilliant years? Could he be bowing out as a double Champions League champion? That front three, formidable front three, Premier League winners, Champions League winners, 3 times Champions League finalists as a group, are one of the best partnerships, threesomes that the Premier League has ever seen. It used to be two strikers in a partnership. It's kind of it's moved to sort of a front three these days. But it's one of the best partnerships that we've ever seen. The cohesion, the complementing of one another. Mane, Salah, Firmino, sensational. But at some point, one of them was going to have to move on. At some point, you would have to see one of them leave and go elsewhere. It was never going to remain forever. With a year or so remaining on his deal, if Mane isn't going to sign, then a deal of this magnitude will be required. Now, what's interesting, it's going to be a similar amount of money as what Liverpool paid Bayern Munich for Thiago Alcantara. And it's a very similar situation. I want to say Mane is a little bit younger. I could be wrong with that, by the way. I haven't checked. I just feel like he's a year or two younger at least. But they came to a deal. They got it done. They got it over the line. Bayern received some money. Liverpool could receive some money here. And this is certainly a deal that I could see happening. You know, I really could see a deal like this transpiring. I really could see a deal like this happening and moving forward. It's all about what Liverpool do in response to this, though. Because Mane moved centrally in the second half of the season after Luis Diaz came in. And Diaz looks as though he's going to be an absolute sensation. Diogo Jota is, of course, a top-class player. Are Liverpool going to go out and sign a new Divock Origi? Or are they going to look for a prominent central striker? Or, someone that can play false nine? Someone who's going to be a first-team quality is what I'm alluding to here. And what's very, very interesting about this is this story that came out from the Anfield Wrap podcast saying that Liverpool have held talks with Harry Kane. Now, I know what Spurs fans are going to... I've already seen the tweets. I've already seen people responding. This is the crazy thing. One of the reasons why I very rarely bother to tag the source in of the information is because whether I tag the source in or not, you still get the nincompoops with the, oh, you're clickbaiting. It isn't clickbait to talk about a story that's real. You know, Gutman has put this out. The Anfield Wrap have put this story out. Therefore, we're talking about a news story that's trending. Thus, it's the opposite of clickbait. It's not some story that's been made up by a desk journalist of a newspaper, online newspaper you've never heard with. They've come out with this claim that talks have happened. Now, I know I know it's pretty factual that Harry Kane is in talks about a new deal, that Harry Kane's feeling at staying at Tottenham has changed. I still think it's highly likely he stays at Tottenham. I really do. I think it's highly likely. But, and I will throw this but in there, Man City have signed Haaland. Harry Kane to Liverpool, from a Liverpool point of view, is a better signing than Haaland to Man City. Because Harry Kane is a better player than Haaland. He's a better all-round player, Premier League proven. He showed everybody the second half of last year, once he got his head straight after not getting his move to Man City, ironically, that he is one of the very best front men in the world. His link-up play, his footballing ability is tip-top, one of the very best in the world. So I'm not surprised that Liverpool have done this. It doesn't mean the talks are going to go beyond talks. It doesn't mean they're going to be, it doesn't mean that they're going to progress beyond this. But it's the kind of move that Liverpool need to make. Because if Mané does leave, and with Man City signing Haaland, Liverpool have got to bring in a player of world-class ability. Whether it's creatively, goal-scoring, or combined, Liverpool need it. They absolutely need it. So it's not a surprise to me. And I felt for a long time that Liverpool buying Harry Kane is the best move in the world for Harry Kane. I actually think it was a better move than Man City because Pep has a bit of a history of not being overtly successful with traditional number nines. I think that Klopp could do that job. Klopp, especially with a Harry Kane who can kind of drop deep and play, I think it would be a sensational piece of business. Now, Julian here says, once again, speculation. Yes, my friend. All fan channels around the world speak about the news and the reports and the speculation in the press. That's literally what we do as fans. But you obviously don't like it. So I think what I'm going to do is block you so you no longer have to see it anymore because it's clearly hurting your very fragile, timid, and obviously small little brain. So I'll give you a little block, my friend, and you can go and enjoy the rest of your Friday in the sunshine. Terry, what about João Felix? Listen, João Felix would be a very good signing as well. But listen, and Harry Kane's most certainly looking at a new deal at Tottenham. That news, I believe, also. The two things, by the way, can be true at the same time. But why would he not just at least listen to Liverpool, what they've got to say, what they've got to offer him? Because if Liverpool really wanted him and were prepared to pay the asking price, which is still probably about £100 million. By the way, Liverpool have £100 million. Easy. Especially if Mane leaves for 30-odd. Why would he not listen? And if they put that bid in, they could turn Harry Kane's head. Liverpool are winning now. They're not winning next week, next month, next year, in 5 years. Liverpool are at the top of the mountain now. And I think that it is... I think it's one of those deals where I give it right now like a 5% chance of happening. 5%. But it's a deal where if in 3 weeks' time it was announced Liverpool have submitted a bid, I wouldn't go, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. Liverpool have to respond to Mane leaving and Erling Haaland coming in. They've got the money. Whether they go after João Felix, whether they go after Harry Kane, they have to go after somebody of tip-top level. Tip-top level. World-class ability is what they need. And with Harry Kane, you get ability and product at world-class level. But it's an intriguing one for me to see whether it comes out or not. As we say, the Mané news that he is close to agreeing or will agree, depending on the publication, a deal to move to Bayern Munich. Harry Kane reportedly in talks with Liverpool, have held talks with Harry Kane and or his camp, which is an intriguing one. Now, we're going to take your calls on the show a little bit later. Please make sure you've hit that like button. Really important to us that you get that done right now. Give that a bit of a smash. Do you know what I do? I was saying to my brother the other day about transfers. He goes, "Oh, you enjoy the transfers?" I said, "I do," other than the sense that sometimes I feel like I'm the only person some people on the socials have an issue with talking about rumors. I see every other channel speak about the rumors, and it's like, fine, we do it, and it's like, why are you spreading the lies? I think it's because we're mixed, and it's like you'll put a rumor out there, and of course it might upset the Spurs fans, or it might upset the Arsenal fans, or it might upset the Chelsea fans, so they kind of come at it. But yeah, speculations out there, sources have been shared, same as every other fan channel. No fan channel journalists. I'm sorry to break it to you, they're not. But there we go. Let's do some super chats that have come through here. Sorry, I can't see the Kane transfer. If Liverpool ever spend 100 million, it would be on Bellingham. Most probably Mane will be replaced by someone like Danjuma. And maybe they will. And maybe there was just the talk, conversations. But Harry Kane, what is he, 28? He's probably got 4 or 5 years left at the very best minimum. At Liverpool, this guy will score and assist 45, 50 goals a season. Easy. If that wins Liverpool another Champions League, 2 league titles and 2 more domestic trophies, it's money well spent. If he gives you 4 years, 5 years of the very best, that's £20 million a year for me, the best number 9 in the league, and one of the top 2 or 3 number 9s in world football. I'd also agree with you. I don't see it happening right now. Very small chance. But it's the best move Liverpool could make. Legitimately, the best investment for them and for Harry Kane. Don't sign a new deal at Tottenham. Go to Liverpool if there's a chance. That would be my recommendation to Harry Kane, if it was doable. Kane to Liverpool and Lukaku to Spurs, Conte reunion. Listen, you never know. You never know in football. You never, ever quite know. Afternoon, Terry. You are right. If Harry Kane does come the amount. Sorry, let me read that again. Afternoon, Terry. You are right. If Harry Kane does come, the amount our front three missed chances, he would put most away. Yeah, the clinical nature of him compared to most other players in world football is of an exceptionally high level. There's no doubt. Kane would never come to Chelsea. Yeah. No, I doubt it. Yeah, I don't think anyone's talking about that per se, but there we go. If Mane goes to Bayern, does that free up Gnabry? Potentially, yes. And this is the great thing about some of these transfers. It's the butterfly effect from them. What does Mane joining Bayern Munich do? What kind of shockwaves is that going to send through football? I think that's it. A lot of people here saying hairline reveal. That's coming later. If you're a member of the Football Terrace, you've already seen it. Members have had that shown to them already. So there we go. Lamin says, I'm sick and tired of Liverpool. Listen, Liverpool have got Paul. Liverpool have got money. Liverpool have got one of the top 2 managers in the world. They can essentially sign anybody they want. It's all doable for them. Now, some Frenkie de Jong news today has come out. Alex Shaw here says Erik ten Hag has set to press ahead with a move for Frenkie de Jong. Won't go to 75 million, but believe a compromise can be reached. Elsewhere, PSG eager to offload Neymar. Barca look to offload 10 players. Man United are going to advance this Frenkie de Jong deal very, very soon. And when I say advance, that means push the deal forward. Very simplistic what that word means. They want him. Man City have pulled out. Man City were interested, and as it stands right now, they've called their interest. PSG are looking at him, but they're also looking at Tchouaméni as well. What I've been told, just from speaking to various journalists, that it's very unlikely that PSG sign Tchouaméni and Frenkie de Jong. Man United are pushing ahead now because they're trying to get the deal done before PSG are ready to strike. It makes a lot of sense. Manchester United want to pay somewhere in the region of about £60 million max. They feel like they're going to have the upper hand in negotiations because Barca, although they keep playing down their want to sell Frenkie de Jong, the cold, hard light of day looks at the fact that they have financial difficulties and they're looking to have to offload, as ESPN put out, around 10 players. They have to raise a certain amount of money. That needs to happen. That needs to be done. When Man United bid, that will come after the negotiations. So it depends on how you look at. I look at it this way: every step of the negotiations now with Barca, there's a bid involved. Would you take, would you take 60? No, we'll take. Yeah, we want 75. Listen, we'll give you 60 plus this. Okay, we'll take 70. No, we want 6. There's a bid each time. It's just an unofficial bid. It's part of negotiations. It just is what it is. The official bids only go in once the deal has been agreed. It's all a little bit boring, really. The fun stuff comes before it, but for some weird reason, clubs like to play it down these days. But anyway, we digress. Man United are working on this deal. And I still see and know that a lot of Manchester United rivals say that there is absolutely no chance this deal happens. Barcelona might land him. That could happen. Of course it could. But United are in this. Man United and Ten Hag would not be pushing on with negotiations with Barca if they did not believe Frenkie de Jong would join them. Erik Ten Hag wouldn't waste his time. If Erik Ten Hag had been told by Frenkie de Jong that he's spoken to already, I will not join Man United for love nor money, if someone in the comments can tell me why Man United would be negotiating right now with Barca, if Frenkie de Jong isn't going to join, I'll give you 10 grand cash. A reason that makes me go, oh my God, you're absolutely right. That makes sense. I don't understand it. So for me, I still think if PSG go in for him, they have a better chance than we do. I think if Manchester City come back in for him, they have a better chance than Manchester United do. But I don't see United. What I don't see happening, don't see us getting a bid accepted by Barca and then the player rejecting us. Do you know why? Because 99.9% of transfers work the opposite way. You get the player to agree first, and then you speak to the football clubs. Clubs don't want that embarrassment. So if Man United do that, I would be so shocked, just because that isn't the typical process. But we will see. I want your views and I want your opinions on that. Terry, let's keep it realistic. Tell me what... I appreciate your comment there, Julian. Tell me what's not realistic about it. Tell me why you believe Man United are negotiating with Barca if the players told them no. Make that make sense to me, my brother. Make that make sense to me. Someone says money. Yeah, but that doesn't answer the question. The question is, if he's going to say no to Man United, he isn't going to come for anything, love or money, why would they be negotiating with Barca? Let me know, my friend. Let me know. I want to know why you guys think that is. Do me a favor and smash that like button, please. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. We're going to share the link now for you to phone in and have your say. I want to hear from you. I want to know what's going on in your world, where you're watching from today, what's going on. We have got a poll running as well on the Terrace today, which currently is 70% think Harry Kane would be a success at Liverpool. He spoke with Ten Hag, Terry. Yeah, I've read that he spoke with Ten Hag. A few journalists have confirmed that. But that's my point. Why would we push on? Why would Ten Hag push on if the players told him no? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. Julian here says, let me just share the link to call in for a moment, just so I can pin that up. Terry, you're a legend. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate the kind words, my friend. I appreciate the kind words. Liverpool willing to pay Gavi's 50 million release clause amid reports that his contract talks with Barcelona are stalling. Now, that's an interesting one because, again, a transfer like that could stop Frenkie de Jong. If enough players are sold and they raise money before Man United get the Frenkie de Jong deal done, or PSG or Man City, whoever else could be signing Frenkie, that could put a stop to it. So these are the types of stories that there is a connection between them that needs to be focused on, no doubt about it at all. TJ here says, just to play devil's advocate, it could It could be because both parties feel that he can be compelled to comply. Why would he stay if he's not wanted? But that still then means that Man United believes there's hope, and he hasn't given a categoric love nor money. If he's open to joining still, and he will be open to joining, the idea that he would not join Man United is almost nonsensical. If Barca sell him, we do not want you here. We are going to sell you. He has no choice but to move on. He really has no choice. He could refuse, but then that will cause him problems at the club. Nobody wants to be in an environment at work where it's weird, uncomfortable, because trust me, Barca will turn on him. Barca are very, say to the faithful, look, we tried to sign more players, but Frenkie de Jong wouldn't leave, so the squad's weak for the next season. Do you know what the Barca crowd will do to him? He isn't going to want to be in that environment. If Barca say you're going, players go. They really, really do. And he's already made it clear that he would love to play for Erik ten Hag again. So yeah, for me, I get where you're coming from, TJ. But that's the reason why Man United are pushing on ahead. They feel there's a chance of getting him. PSG feel there's a chance of getting him. So they're going to push on with it. There's no doubt. He could refuse unless Barca pay him what he's owed. Ola, he could. But if Man United knew that 110% he was going to say no, they wouldn't negotiate with Barca. They wouldn't waste their time. Ten Hag wouldn't waste his time. He just wouldn't do it. I've seen that type of transfer once in the last 2 or 3 years since clubs changed their approach, and that was Arsenal with Vlahovic. And look how that went. It's so rarely done. I just can't see it myself, my friend. That's all I'm saying. Let's have a little look here. There was a comment I just missed. Good afternoon. Sorry, I'm looking. Here it is. Nazir, Chelsea staff have been privately told the takeover is complete, just an announcement pending. Yeah, the announcements are always behind the official news, aren't they? So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's already done and dusted and they're just waiting for the right time to announce. It's probably not best to announce it before the Champions League final, really. You don't want the news to be overshadowed by the biggest one-off game in club football. Wait till Sunday, wait till Monday, and then put that news out. They might do it today, but I'd wait till then, and you've got sort of a clear run at the news cycle. You want all Chelsea are going to want all the clicks, they're going to want the push through, they're going to want all the promotion that comes with it. You do it on the same day as the Champions League final, you will get engulfed in it. So there's a time and a place to release. To release things. Artists do that with music. So I'm releasing my album in 3 weeks. Oh, you do realize Drake's dropping his album on that day? We better do it the week before then, or a few weeks after. Otherwise, your promotions are going to be dwarfed by a bigger and better artist. It's simple as that, really. We're going to go to calls in a minute. Ray's backstage. Shrey is backstage, and Raphael as well. Terry, any and Nkunku news? Nothing different from yesterday, where we spoke about it on the Top 6 show. So. Yeah, there's reports of a bid next week from Man United. There's reports of Liverpool being interested. There's reports of Arsenal being interested. But nothing has, in the last 24 hours, nothing has changed. So no need to speak about it anymore. De Jong could play with Ronaldo, Sancho, Rashford, Bruno, Donny, Varane, De Gea, and more signings. I know that Twitter don't rate these players, but they are very highly rated inside football by other players. There is a large element of truth in that. And listen, it's going to be the project under Ten Hag that he buys into if he comes. Will he believe that United can get back to where they're meant to be inside the next year or so? And listen, signing players like Frenkie de Jong makes that all more possible. So it becomes a little bit of a cycle in that way. But we'll see. Listen, I said about 2 weeks ago, 40% chance I'd give Man United of getting that deal done. Still remains at that level. Because I still think City are loosely interested. I think they're waiting to see Man United make a breakthrough with Barca, and maybe then they'll act. I think PSG, if they don't land Tchouaméni and he goes Real Madrid, I think they will come back in for him. So United have got an outside chance. They're third favourites in the race for him now, in my personal opinion. That's just mine. Yeah, thank you very much, Thomas, for the kind words. I appreciate that. I really do. Carragher said Ten Hag months. I don't know what that means, bro. I don't know what your comment means. Reword that for me, so that makes a little bit of sense, so I can understand what you mean. Terry, any Arsenal updates? There isn't really anything. There's lots of news out today, but there's nothing new. There's no new news about Arsenal that I've seen. And I follow a few Arsenal accounts. It's kind of just reiterated, regurgitated stuff that we haven't really seen before. There's nothing new from anybody like that. So, yeah. A few people saying Fabrizio has said that Harry Kane is happy at Tottenham. Of course he's happy. And like I said, 5% chance I think this happens. Of course he's happy. But if Liverpool make an actual offer, like I'm asking this question to Liverpool fans. If Liverpool put £100 million bid in, offer Harry Kane 200 grand a week, 5-year contract, number 9 shirt, Firmino's got that, but number 10 shirt, do Liverpool fans think Harry Kane would leave his Tottenham club and Antonio Conte for Liverpool? Do Liverpool fans believe he would do that? I'd like to know now. Rivals as well, yes or no, would he leave? If a bid came in, would he go? My point is this. I think he's happy under Antonio Conte. I think he would pack his bags and be out that door before you could say title challenges if Liverpool made a concrete offer for him. If these talks progress, if Liverpool say that's who we want, of course he would leave. Of course he would leave. So again, very big outside chance. Interesting rumor put out there by the gentleman at the Anfield Wrap, who are very well connected, by the way, to Liverpool. Whether people like it or not, the Anfield Wrap are connected deeply at Liverpool Football Club. So I trust that the talks have happened. Now, Kane might have told him no. Sweet. I would love to see Kane say no if they made an official offer. I've seen other footballers say they're not leaving clubs in the past and then go. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Their motive, you are saying yes. Jonathan says no. It's an interesting one. But there we go. Right, I'm going to go to your calls, people. Keep hitting the like and share. But I'm first on the show. I'm going to speak to Ashraf, who wants to come on. Also, in the private chat, if you're backstage, put what you want to say so that it makes it easier in terms of flow of conversation for me to pick what you guys are talking about. But Ashraf is coming on the show now. Welcome back to the Terrace. What are you saying, mate? You're on mute.
Hey, Terry, big up, man. How you doing?
I'm very well, my friend. Yeah, what do you make of this Harry Kane news?
Yeah, I think if he has an option to go to Liverpool at the same wage, there's no reason why he would say no, right? Like, why would you say no to go to one of the best teams in the country? He wanted to leave last year to City for a reason, right? Because he wanted to challenge. We know it was not for the money. I'm not saying that players are not motivated by money. Of course, a lot of them are. But I think someone like Harry Kane, because of his legacy, because of how well he's been doing in the Premier League, he knows he needs to win like a Premier League before retiring for his legacy to be like at the very top with the top strikers like Alan Shearer and Thierry Henry. And also, if he does get a chance, I don't see how he would say no to that. The only thing is, and I see some people have mentioned that in the comments, which is really true. I think Daniel Levy holds all the cards there because I don't think anything has changed from last year's situation where they would just let him leave. Especially with a manager like Conte, especially with the things that they're building, I think they are going to try and secure their place in the top 4 next season. And you never know, man. If they make good signings in the summer, they might even try to challenge for the title within the next 2-3 years. So I don't see why they would let him go. And honestly, I also don't see why Liverpool would want him as the ideal replacement. I think the way their attack plays, it's a lot of high intensity running off the ball, which I think Harry Kane is an incredible passer, obviously an elite scorer, but I don't think he would have that same level of intensity in terms of running off the ball the way Mane, Luis Diaz, Salah and all do. So I'm not sure if that is the best signing to replace Mane if he does end up leaving.
If Mane leaves, who do you think Liverpool should bring in to replace him?
I mean, they obviously have to go for someone who's quite mobile. You know, this might be a bit controversial. I would have thought they would have looked at someone like Gabriel Jesus, right? Because if we do know that he wants to leave Man City, because they've got Julian Alvarez and Haaland, and he might not want to stay there, especially with the World Cup year coming up. He probably want to start. I think he would be doing really well there. He's used to the high intensity pressing game. He's a good passer as well. He had like 8-9 assists in the Premier League last season. He would be able to play right, left, or in the middle for them. So it fits that profile. It wouldn't be the first transfer where we had a City Liverpool move as well. So I think that would be a really good move for them if it does happen. And if he has the option, he would choose them over Arsenal and Tottenham any day.
Yeah, I mean, Gabriel Jesus there again. I think I agree with you. I think very good signing. I know a lot of Liverpool fans have mentioned João Felix. He's got youth on his side, and a lot of us want to see him get out of Ati and the way Diego Simeone plays to really see how good he is. Like, you need to see him in a more forward-thinking, attacking side, which I totally understand. And I don't disagree with a lot of people in the comments. I don't see Harry Kane going there, but where I disagree with you is I think he would be the most perfect signing for them, because he's deceptively quick in the sense of he's not electric, but he isn't as slow as I think he sometimes looks on the field of play. But Harry Kane has something about his style which is, especially from an attacking sense, he can play passes. The only player in the Prem, two players in the Prem that are better at passing than him is KDB and Trent. Suddenly you've got a Harry Kane in your team and a Trent Alexander in your team who can thread balls to the Luis Diaz, the Manes and the Jotas. Of course, with Thiago behind him, I think it's a new string to Liverpool's bow. And the one thing I would say, and it's one of the reasons why I think that suddenly out of nowhere, City have gone for two strikers where they've been playing without a proper striker for ages, even with Gabriel Jesus, is you have to adapt how you play. Otherwise, teams will work you out. You have to add a new element to your game. And I think maybe going for a kind of centralized striker now who's a number 9 could be the approach. But listen, I think it's going to take a lot to get him away from Tottenham. But I really feel if Liverpool want him and they came in with a big offer and said, look, Harry, we want to make you part of something. This guy wants trophies. And the reason why I think he's saying I'm happy at Tottenham now, I might do a new deal, is because City got Haaland. Say Liverpool walk away from this and go, we're not going to chat to you again. There's no point for him going to Man United now. We're years away really from competing. Chelsea and Spurs are not going to do business. He's not going to go to Arsenal. He doesn't really want to leave the UK. So it's almost a case of he's left. He's almost like he's got to stay at Tottenham. Does that make sense? And whatever else. This is what I'd be saying to Harry Kane if I was his agent. Antonio Conte lasts 18 months, 2 years. He's already been here for 6 months. He could be gone by the end of by next summer. He could be out of here. Then where are you again? Like, Harry Kane's got to make the best decision for himself, not Tottenham, in my view. But listen, great call, my friend. Really good points being raised there. We'll chat again soon. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, man.
Top care. Man. Thank you very much indeed. Terry's sort of convincing me now. Listen, maybe my points about why it'd be a good signing, as I've said, the Anfield Wrap have shared this news that there have been talks. I believe there's a 5% chance, but I think Liverpool should act on it. And I'm telling you this now, Liverpool signed Harry Kane. They beat Man City to the Premier League title next year. Harry Kane's a better signing than Haaland. Maybe not for longevity, but I don't, by the way, think Haaland's going to be at City more than 3 or 4 years. Then I think he's going to move on anyway, right? I don't think City are going to have Haaland for 10 years. Harry Kane will be a better signing for Liverpool than Haaland to Man City. That's not a dig. I think Haaland's going to be a great signing. It'd be fantastic. Liverpool should do whatever they can to get this done, in my opinion, especially if the brilliant Mane leaves. I know, you say ease. I stand by it. Next on the show, I'm going to get Lamin on to have his say. What are you saying, brother?
Hear me?
Yes, my friend.
Yeah, I just had to take my Bluetooth off. Harry Kane. I mean, first things first here. I just think, Chelsea and Tottenham, we need to end the civil war, really. Let's talk business if you lot want to talk business. because the thought of Harry Kane going to Liverpool, it just makes me sick. I can't even lie. Harry Kane would be perfect for a lot of teams. But if there's one team that really needs a Harry Kane, it's Chelsea. And there's a business deal to be done there. We have a striker that would do bits for them. So, yeah, I just don't want to see it. I don't, because City are getting Haaland. Harry Kane going potentially to Liverpool. That's just the gap is just going to be even wider, really. And I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I'm like, why Liverpool? Like, I've always had hate for Liverpool, but this season I really hated Liverpool because they took 2 trophies away from us, which we really needed. And I think Harry Kane coming to Tottenham fans wouldn't agree, but him coming to Chelsea and potentially getting us that title, you probably get more of an accolade than going to Liverpool, the team that are already there, in my opinion, anyway. And winning more trophies there. At Chelsea, if he can just be that difference for us in winning that title, then, I would have that at a higher regard, really. But for me, I just think we need to do a Lukaku swap. I know I'm pitching here,
I'm
like
just
I'm doing whatever to just get Lukaku. But,
bruv.
it's not going to happen, is it?
Bruv, no. There is what Spurs. No, I mean, the only way it would work is if 100% Antonio Conte is being told he can have whoever he wants and he pushes for it. Like if he turned around and said it, but look, Conte's not an idiot. Conte knows Harry Kane is 10 times the better football player than Lukaku, and I'm talking overall football. It's not going to happen. But I get why you'd want it to, because Harry Kane is absolutely special. He's mustard and he's world class. And if you need a goal scorer and a creator in one, there's very few players that are better than him. So.
Very few. And can I just say something on this whole Tottenham Chelsea rivalry? Yeah, I honestly feel like they hate us more than we hate them. Like, I don't like Tottenham. I'm not gonna disagree with that. Yeah, but I hardly lose sleep over them. There was very few times in my life when I think, oh shit, Tottenham, But whenever it's us, like they just put their knickers in a twist, really. I think more about Arsenal, if anything, and we do business with Arsenal.
You stop. Listen, you're pandering to these Tottenham fans. Daniel Levy's. I don't think he watches the show, but listen, top man coming on, mate, and I'll chat to you again soon. Thank you, man. All the best. You see that desperation from Chelsea fans to get rid of him. Speaking of madnesses, there's 2 players linked with one player linked with Spurs. Ivan Perisic to Spurs. That's a serious deal. Serious. Get it done. Couple of years, bit of experience in there. Winner. Also, Bissouma available for £30 million. 30 mil for Yves Bissouma. The silence says it all. I don't understand why more big clubs are not in for him. But there we go. I also tweeted something earlier as well. I read 2 reports today about one that Kamara is earning 175 grand a week at Villa and Carlos is earning 200 grand a week. Gerrard's getting backed. Do you know what's interesting about that? It's never about the wages someone's on. It's about them being the right person and player for your football club. But Aston Villa are absolutely backing them and putting their money where their mouth is. Listen, I don't know who else they're going to sign, but that is serious. I mean, it's not the Gerrard pool. It's literally the money they're throwing at it, but serious. Why aren't top teams going for Son? Because he's unavailable. He's made no noise that he wants to leave. Spurs want to keep him. I think he's got a fair amount of time left on his deal. So it becomes almost impossible to get him, I would say. But there we go. Right, next caller on the show. Man like Eye Test is back with us. Eye Test on the terrace. What you saying, my friend? You're on mute.
I want to talk about Harry Kane.
Go for it.
Yeah, because I heard you say he's world class, and
yes.
Obviously this is a transfer show, and the news is Harry Kane to Liverpool. For me, I think Harry Kane needs a move, and I think he knows he needs a move because Harry Kane isn't like his fanboys. He's not like people like you and his fanboys who say he's world class because he scores a lot of goals against Burnley and Brighton. He understands that that's not enough. Stat padding against Burnley and Brighton every single week is not enough to be world class. He understands. Yeah, he's like me. He knows that's not enough. He knows he needs to do what a Benzema is doing, which is do it at the highest level in the Champions League semi-final, in the quarterfinals, scoring against the big teams, in the big moments, when it matters most, and leading their team to success. That's what makes you world class. That's what makes a player world class, not stat padding against Burnley or even maybe a Chelsea or Arsenal here and there in the league, but leading your team to nothing, not scoring in the big moments. That doesn't make you world class. If stuff like that makes you world class, why is Immobile not world class? The world class tag should not be given out so easily. It should be given out to players like what Benzema is doing in a bigger stages, what Modric was doing in a World Cup. He understands that, and that's why he wants to move. That's why he was forcing a move last season. He went on strike. He knows that. And I think Harry Kane needs a move. Liverpool, for me, ain't the one because I don't know about the style and everything. Maybe it's a little bit too fast for him. City would have been perfect because the gameplay is a little bit slow. He could have suited that, but Haaland's there. But maybe if Lewandowski leaves to Bayern Munich,
your internet bugging. Let me jump in there. So I think you're confusing someone that's a world-class footballer in terms of their ability, their outputs, and how they play, and then somebody that is creating legacy by being at the right club. Modric is a great point. Luka Modric would have been this same level of world-class player if he'd have stayed at Tottenham. He wouldn't have won the things that he did at Tottenham, would he? So he'd still be the same footballer. And I think that's the real interesting element that I would focus on. I agree with you. Harry Kane needs to move. Harry Kane needs to go to a football club where he can win to create the legacy that a world-class player needs. So he needs to start winning major trophies to create a legacy in the game. Absolute facts, would not disagree with you on that whatsoever. The reason that I know he's world-class is that if he went to Liverpool, if he went to City, if he went to Real Madrid, if he went to Barcelona, if he went to Bayern Munich, he would deliver, and you would see him deliver in even more of the big games when he's surrounded. I'm still talking. He would go there and do it. Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, I said I think he would as well. It's not about if.
So my point is this. The only thing I disagree with you on is your wording of it. If you think he would go there and do that, then that means he is world class. He just needs to go to a club to create a legacy to cement himself into that category. That means you agree that he has the ability, that he is a world-class player. The same as Luka Modric. Luka Modric at Tottenham was one of the best midfield players in the world, but he needed to go to a team that would win the accolades to almost prove it to people. But he still had that ability in him. He was still that player. And Harry Kane did. So I agree with you 95% of what you're saying. There's no doubt about it. He needs to go. And that's why I honestly think if Liverpool was serious, if Real Madrid came in this summer and were really serious, I think he'd look at a move. I don't care that he says, I'm happy at Tottenham and I'm happy to sign a new deal. I think he'd go, personally. I really do.
But at the same time, you say he needs to go to a club. Yeah, but for me, I always also think back to the Tottenham team that they had a couple years ago. He could have won. That team was capable of winning Premier Leagues and Champions League. When Leicester, what do you mean? When Leicester City won the league,
it wasn't.
Hold on. When Leicester City won the league, that was the greatest opportunity.
But you're missing a fundamental point here, my friend. The heritage, the feeling of a football club plays a massive part. One of the biggest elements is the fans. When teams are used to winning, and the fans are important here because you can have the same crowd over 20, generally like 80% of a crowd will remain the same for a 30, 40-year period at a club. When you've had a team that over that period of time is consistently challenging for titles, has won major trophies, when it gets to the crunch times, when it gets to the difficult moments in the season, the noise, the anxiety, the feeling from the crowd is different from a team that's never been there before, generally speaking. And for me, that's one soft fact. There are multiple others. If Harry Kane, like Luka Modric, moves to a football club where there's a winning mentality, where coming second is not celebrated, they take their medals off and throw them on the floor when they come second in games, where managers can be sacked a year after winning a Champions League because they finished second in the league and go out in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. When you're at a club of that standards, it delivers something different from football players. Everybody can fall into the realm of mediocrity when the club doesn't hold you to account. I think City players do that in the Champions League because there's almost a get out of jail free card in the Champions League because elements of the club, including the fan base, don't overtly care about it. So I understand where you're coming from, but Harry Kane, as good as I think Antonio Conte is going to make this Tottenham team, I still don't see him winning a major trophy. I don't see him winning the league, and I don't see him winning the Champions League with Tottenham. So it's almost a case of if Liverpool did come in and he stayed, it'd be a mad one for me. It really, really would. Thank you very much, mate, for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate it, my guy, and I'll chat to you again soon. Top man, thank you. There's some breaking news, people, that's just been posted here. Miguel Delaney has just stated that Tottenham have agreed a 2-year deal with Ivan Perisic. That deal is said to be done, according to Miguel Delaney. He said that Tottenham have beat Chelsea and Juve to the signing of Ivan Perisic. That's the news that has just come out, that has just broken. Ivan Perisic to Tottenham. That's some experience there. I swear he played. Did he play under Antonio Conte at Inter? Did they play? Were they with each other? I'm assuming they did. I could be very wrong. They definitely did. So yeah, an interesting move for him. He's going to be joining Tottenham. Ooh, how many years ago did Jose want him? Now Spurs have gone and got him. If he kills it in the Prem, there's a lot of Martial FC that are in the absolute mud with that one, but there we go. Right, next on my show, we're going to get young Tommy on in a bit. Michael's backstage. We're going to get Ray on now to have his say. What are you saying, Ray?
Hey, what's up, Timmy? Can you hear me?
Yes, my friend. What do you want to say?
Brilliant. Yeah, so I want to speak about Manchester United and the some of the transfers, especially De Jong. It's imperative that we don't waste time with De Jong if he's not coming, because this is what United do. For 10 years, we know this because we're hard Manchester United fans. We know this. They don't even give them great hairs. That they're going to sit here and waste all summer with De Jong, and miss out on targets that can not as good as De Jong, but can replace De Jong. Because I heard that Ten Hag is in for at least 5 players, 2 central midfielder, centre backs, a winger, and a striker. Now, yes, we can get gas on De Jong. Yes, I would love him to come, but I will give a deadline to Barcelona, maybe next week. I say, listen, here's the money. If you don't sign him, we're going to move elsewhere. And don't be afraid to do that, because for me, if we're really going to change, because I'm not even excited at the moment, but if we're really going to change, we have to change our policy in the summer, not wasting the big money names, just getting the signings in and seeing where we go from there. That's what I wanted to say.
Do you know what, Ray? Great points being raised, and I could not agree with you more. That would show me a seismic change in how we operate, and that's why it doesn't make sense with the new people in charge, Ten Hag now here, to waste time talking to Barca if the player wasn't available, in terms of him saying yes. It doesn't make any sense. I know rivals want it to, but for me, it don't compute. Ray, great call, my friend. Thanks for coming on and having a say, mate. I appreciate all your support. Top man. Thank you. We're going to be getting Michael on in a minute and young Tommy. Smash the like button. Thank you very, very much, my friend. I appreciate that. Barca won 80 million. 70 is what I read today. But let's see what happens. Serious question. Why would Mane leave Liverpool? It makes no sense. Well, it does. Maybe he's feel that he has achieved everything that he wants to. Maybe he doesn't necessarily want to play through the center. He's done a very good job, but maybe he said, look, Jurgen, I'm doing a job for you, but I don't really want to be in that position. Maybe he's always had a dream of playing in the Bundesliga. Maybe he's always wanted to play for Bayern Munich. Maybe it's a great opportunity for him to see out his career there. I think there's a number of logical reasons as to why that could happen, in my view. I think that it most certainly could. Terry, apparently Basuma has a new agent who is touting Basuma around, but no one will touch him. Well, that could be true, especially with the court case overhanging. That would make a lot of sense for nobody to want to touch him at this moment in time. Let's have a little look here. Maybe buying or offering more money. Well, I read that yesterday. I didn't know this. I read the other day. He's only on 100 grand a week. And when I say only, it's a lot for people like you and I. But for the level that he's at as a player, it doesn't seem a considerable amount of money. But there we go. Gary Neville was right. Conte 2 years, then gone. Perisic 2 years, deal proof. But that's also why Harry Kane's got to be careful here. And that's why I keep saying it. If the Liverpool thing is true, go. Because in 2 years, the reason you're staying is probably going to be gone. And then you're going to be left with the next Nuno. Do you know what I mean? It is a tough one. It really, really is to see what's to get moved forward there. Kieran's going to be on the show in a few moments with us as well. But young Tommy's on next, an Arsenal fan. What you saying, mate?
I'm all right, man. How are you? You good?
I'm well. What are you here to say?
Well, Harry Kane to Liverpool. That's actually going to be a good signing for them. Imagine Kane with Salah and Salah, Diaz. That's going to be a Mane. That's going to be actually a good front four. That's going to be good. But would he go now because they're in the Champions League? Tottenham, Conte staying. So would he leave now though? What do you think? Would he leave now?
Of course he would. Why would you stay at Tottenham over going to Liverpool Football Club? One of the best teams in the world, Champions League finalist, in the title race every year, winning trophies. Even Conte's a brilliant manager. Klopp's even better. I can't think of one reason other than to hopefully one day have a statue at Tottenham for scoring the most amount of goals. It's the only reason to stay at Tottenham is to get a statue when he retires for being the highest ever goal scorer. That would be it.
Yeah, that's true because I get that course. Yeah, of course, because they haven't won a trophy since 2008 anyway, Tottenham. So, and obviously he wants to go to that next level. And Liverpool are a big club. They win trophies, and that Tottenham don't. Like, sorry, Tottenham fans. I have to say this: you guys don't win shit, bro. But yeah, I think Liverpool will be a big move for him. He'll win the Premier. Yeah, he'll win the Premier League as well, Champions League. Yeah, Klopp is way better than Conte. As much as I love Conte, Klopp's clear of him anyway. But yeah, I think Liverpool will be a big step for him. Like, but he needs to. The guy's 28. He needs to like go and win trophies because you're not going to stay at Tottenham and retire. Like, why? Look at Gareth Bale. He left Tottenham for Real Madrid, and look at him now. He's won Champions Leagues and like Ligas with Real Madrid. Gareth Bale. So as much as I like Harry, as much as I don't really like Tottenham. I think Kane should leave Tottenham and win trophies. That's all I can say about him. But if he wants to stay at Tottenham, that's his own business, isn't it?
Absolutely agree, mate. I really, really do. Young Tommy, thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. I appreciate that, mate. Top man. Thank you.
Oh.
A few people in the comments saying I'm anti-Spurs. I'm not being anti-Spurs. I'm being pro-Harry Kane. Harry Kane needs the move. Kieran's on the show next. What you saying, my friend?
Oh, what's up, Terry? Can you hear me?
Yeah, mate. Perfect. Who do you support and what do you want to say?
I support Liverpool, bro, and big up Terry, you absolute legend, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me, I think Harry Kane would be a fantastic signing for Liverpool. If you look in the two matches against Manchester City this season, we drew both. If you look at Harry Kane in the Spurs match, against them, he kind of made that difference. I think for Liverpool, he could be fantastic because he could make that difference against Man City in their matches. We look at it this season, it was literally a 1-point difference. If Harry Kane could make them kind of performances for Liverpool against Man City and, get us them 3 points in the matches, it could be massive. Yeah, it could be fantastic, but like you said, it can just be a 5% chance. So, yeah.
I find it interesting that in the last sort of 12 hours since this news broke, is Kane's kind of been a weird player that Liverpool fans have hated on. So ever since the kind of claiming the goal and putting it on his to take the golden boot away from, try and take the golden boot away from Salah, Liverpool fans have had a real kind of issue with him. But what I've seen in the last 12 hours is almost, I've always really rated him, though. He's always a top guy, just in case this deal is to happen. But it's crazy, really, because he talks. A lot of people say like he wants a legacy in the game. If he goes to Liverpool for 5 years, scores the level at the same rate and assists at the same rate that he's been doing at Spurs, and you guys win 2 or 3 major trophies, he'll be remembered in the Premier League for being a Liverpool player, not a Spurs player. And that's legacy. And that's what if I was his agent, that's what I'd be encouraging him to do now. Like, if there is the distinct chance that Liverpool want you, you've got to explore it and look at it. Yes, you can keep talking to Spurs about a new deal and everything else because he might end up being in a position. But the reason that he's still at Tottenham is because he signed a new deal a few years back that's kept him here. That kept his price so high. I would just be I don't know. I'd be a bit reluctant to do it again. I can't really understand it. But look, we'll see what happens, mate, in terms of that. In terms of Mane leaving, though, what do you think he's going to announce on Monday? I've heard that there's going to be this big announcement. Do you think he's going to say that he's leaving, or do you think he'll sign a new deal?
Yeah. It was so weird because, like, I saw that little interview, and he was like, there's going to be a special announcement. When someone says it's a special announcement, you think it's going to be good. I think if it was going to be, something bad, normally they say, okay, it's an important, I need to speak about this. He said it's going to be special for the Liverpool fans. If he's going to say he's going to leave, why would he say that? That's what I was a bit confused about. But yeah, if he does leave, honestly, he's been fantastic for us. There's a lot of Liverpool fans who have disrespected him this season as well. In the beginning anyway, saying, oh, he needs to leave, he needs to do it. Look, this guy's been fantastic. There's nothing I can say about this guy. If he leaves after these 6 years to Bayern, listen, what can I say? He's absolutely fantastic, man. If we could bring in, honestly, someone like Harry Kane or maybe someone like Nkunku, I know Man U have been after him as well. If we can bring in someone like that, I wouldn't be as worried. But yeah, we'd have to fill that hole that he leaves because, as I said, fantastic 5 times. He's fantastic.
No, I hear that, mate. Great call, Kieran. Thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. I really appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, bro. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Joe here says, Terry, stop saying overtly. No. Some of you in the comments are weird, like really weird people. But there we go. Michael's on the show now. What are you saying, Michael?
Big up, Terry. I'll talk about a couple of things if that's okay. First, the Perisic, which actually came out of nowhere that he's going to Spurs, is the perfect player for Conte. Even though he's 33 years old and he's never played in the Premier League, he was fantastic for Bayern when they won the Champions League. He was fantastic for Inter this season. If you watch the Coppa Italia final, he basically won Inter the Coppa Italia. Absolutely fantastic pickup. I wonder how much he's going to get paid and what his wages are at 33 years old for Spurs. And all they need is a right wing back and a center back and maybe another midfielder. I think Spurs can do something next season in the Premier League. And then for Liverpool, because I'm a Liverpool fan, this hurts a lot that Mane might leave. It really is. To be honest, I would keep him over Salah. But if we had to, it looks like Mane wants a new challenge, and I can't blame him. You'd
keep Mane over Salah. If you pick one of them leaving, you'd choose for Salah to leave.
Yeah, I would pick Salah, to be honest, because he's asking for a lot of wages, and that's going to disrupt the whole wage structure of the Liverpool system. So if I would pick one, I would honestly pick Sadio Mané. And look, he's a big game player. Salah hasn't showed up in big games, which, yes, he's fantastic throughout the... Look at Salah's performances since AFCON. He looks like a completely different player. Yes, he shows up in some games and he gets the assists and the goals, but Sadio Mané has completely changed since playing in the false nine role. Completely changed. So I got to give credit to Sadio Mané. And you know what? If he wants more money, I can't blame him. He's severely underpaid at Liverpool at the moment. So if he wants 250 to 300,000, which I would be shocked if actually Bayern give that, because Bayern don't give a lot of players the huge wages. But if they give him that, I think he fully deserves it. And the Kane to Liverpool, I don't see that happening. To be honest, I really don't see that happening. I don't think FSG will pay that sort of money for a 28-year-old Harry Kane, who's obviously world class, but I just don't see that happening from Liverpool's perspective when buying him.
Yeah, listen, I kind of agree. That's why I gave it that 5% chance. It was just such an interesting one to see a story to come out and to see it trending. I saw it trending Harry Kane. I thought, oh, we signed a new deal. First of all, he was on some American talk show, which has triggered some people, which is very weird. Very weird. It's triggered people. And then there's all this Liverpool talk. And it's interesting for like the amount I've spoken about Kane loads on the terrace. And whenever we speak about him leaving, the club I've always said would be best for him is Liverpool. So maybe there's an element of confirmation bias for me around, finally it's being discussed. It's always been a weird one for me, but the money, as you say, is key. What I would say is this, though. Liverpool want Tchouaméni, which is going to be a 70, 80 million pound deal.
Yep.
Mbappe has said they came for me. Now, Mbappe wouldn't have been a fee, but there would have been a tens and tens of millions of pounds signing on fee, and you were going to be paying him double the salary that Harry Kane would be on. So the actual total cost of the deal is probably somewhere in the region of what Harry Kane would cost you. Now, there's more sell-on value with those players. They're younger, so yeah. I do understand that take. But if you could pick Harry Kane up for 100 million, I think for the next 5 years, he would deliver. I think he would break records in that time period. I think he would... I've always said it. It'd be a better signing for you than Haaland will be for City. In terms of the goals and what you would win with him. But as you say, FSG, would you like to sign him? You as a fan, though, if it was announced tomorrow it was happening, would you be excited, worried about his injuries? Like, where would you be with that if it was?
If we signed Harry Kane, we have to sign somebody big, Terry. Look at Man City. Julian Alvarez, Erling Haaland, and it looks like Cucurella. And if they get another CDM, that is, you cannot compete with that. If you're Liverpool, you need to spend the money. Unfortunately, it's nowadays you have to spend the money to compete with the top sides in football. So Liverpool need to break the bank. Now, I cannot see them paying like 100 million for Harry Kane. I just can't. I just don't think they have that in them. Yes, they did it for Van Dijk for 72 million, but that was the missing piece. And Van Dijk, Klopp said that he's the guy. He's going to help our defensive problems, and he was the key. I just wonder what else they're going to do with Firmino, if they're going to let him go out on a free, because his contract ends next season as well. So we might have a completely different front three next season for Liverpool, and it just saddens me to see Mane go, man. It really does. He was the start of the club's project, and if he does, and if it's tomorrow his last game, and I just hope he scores the winner, that would be awesome storyline. But if we do get Harry Kane, look, that's serious.
I hear you.
I don't know what's the goal scoring record. Didn't Salah have the goal scoring record in the season? I can't remember what it was, but he might reach that number. If with Liverpool, with the crosses from Trent and Andy Robertson, with the link-up play, ooh, that's scary.
It'd be ridiculous. Listen, Michael, great call, my friend. We'll chat again soon, buddy. All the best. Thank you. I'm outside. Where's he go is what Anthony's got to say. Why do people keep misreporting how much wages Mane is making? He's making 200k sterling this year. Oh, yeah, I put your super chat about earlier. Yeah, I just was saying what I've read. I don't know. I've not researched it myself. It's just what people have been tweeting, that he's on 100k a week. I thought that sounded a bit low for a player of his stature, how long he's been at Liverpool and everything else. That seemed a bit strange to me personally. But there we go. Next on the show, Shrey is here with us. What are you saying, Shrey?
Hey, Terry, can you hear me?
Perfect, my friend. What are you here to say?
Yeah. First thing I want to start is with De Jong. So I heard you mentioning about, why will United negotiate with Barca? I'll give you a perfect analogy of it. It's like when you go meet a girl, right? When you're trying to impress her, she's already rejected you. So why in the hell will you keep trying to impress her? In trying to like you, So it just doesn't make sense. So I just wanted to make that clear. There has to be some interest, from on both sides to negotiate the deal. So that I just wanted to make clear to the audience. First thing. Second is with Harry Kane. I give it a higher chance than probably you. I would give it, say, about a 15% chance, simply because if Mane leaves Bayern now, which I think could be a genuine possibility, if say Liverpool win tomorrow, what else does Mane really have to prove? I think of it as a new challenge, for him. I think personally he wants to have the challenge, because he's been in the Premier League, I believe, around 10 years. I believe. I'm not sure of the exact number, because before Liverpool he was at Southampton. So I think he wants a new challenge in terms of a new league, I believe. So I think if that happens, then I think maybe even Firmino they would look at in terms of him leaving, then probably Kane would come, and then I think that would be the real thing.
I hear you a lot. I think Mane, there's lots of logical reasons why Mane would leave. And, 5-6 years at a football club is a good amount of time. You look at most players, it's around that. People that do 7, 8, 9, 10 plus years are rare, as an example. And sometimes players also want to go out on the top. The Premier League is the most demanding league. And Mane might think to himself, do you know what? I don't want to do a new 4-year deal. And then my last couple of years, I'm a shadow of the player that I was. I want to go out on a high. And if they win that Champions League tomorrow night, the only memories Liverpool fans will ever have of Sadio Mané is of him as one of the very, very, very best players around, mate. But Shrey, listen, great call, my friend. Thank you.
I just wanted to mention about Basuma quickly, nobody's touched on. I want to mention Basuma real quick. Okay,
go for
so first thing is, I've seen reports that Chelsea are interested in him. So I don't know if there's anything in that, but I personally love him at Chelsea. If we don't get Chouameni, so be it. I think this guy is the real deal. This guy can ball. I think I would love him at Chelsea. Basuma at 30 million, it would be perfect. Premier League proven. He can fill that Kante kind of role. Even he would be fine coming off the bench for Kante. So I think for 30 million is perfect for us, and it makes a lot of sense. Given the amount of players we're going to, like, Chelsea are going to spend on. If you look at the various reports out there, so I think that would be a perfect deal for us.
Mate, I get you completely. Shrey, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Top man. Thank you. I got a message from someone involving Chelsea. They just said, they sent me about half an hour ago, and they just checked, saying Chelsea 6 p.m. It's just gone 6 p.m. There's been no announcement, but essentially the Chelsea announcement's set to be very imminent. It's in the next, this evening, Chelsea's formal take, everything's going to be complete. But there we go. KJ's backstage, but I don't think he's there for coming on. I don't think. No, there we go. Listen, thank you all very, very much for tuning into the show today. I really do appreciate it. Back later with some more content for you. Of course, Champions League tomorrow. We're in the studio for that big match reaction for the final game of the season. Before you leave here today, please do me a favor and hit the like button right now. Get that done for me. Make sure you're subscribing and you've got the bell notifications turned on as well. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you soon. Thank you.